I'm a big advocate for using cloth pads over using single-use pads or tampons. That's for a bunch of different reasons. I made the switch for my health and also because I save a decent amount of money every year by not having to buy the single-use. But also for the last 4-ish years, I've been selling these reusable pads in my local apothecary. And they always sell out, they do super well. I hear great reviews from women that make the switch. So today I wanted to show you how you can make your own in about 30 minutes for almost no money and with minimal supplies. So diving right in, here are the supplies we're going to need for the project today. You can easily find 100% cotton flannel shirts at a thrift store. I come across these all the time. And one shirt can yield really as many as like 12 cloth pads, so you get a lot of bang for your buck. We'll also use the buttons from the flannel shirt as the closure for the cloth pad, so seam rip off a couple of those and set them aside. If you want to make a heavy absorbency pad, you can also use a strip of wool here. I'll show you how to do that later in the video. Finally, you'll just need a sewing machine, thread, scissors, and pins. So the first step is to just cut out the back bodice piece of the flannel shirt and give it a good press. Lay out your pattern piece on the fabric and cut out quantity 2 of the pattern piece A. Then cut out quantity 2 of the pattern piece B. And if you're adding the extra wool layer, cut out one more piece B. If you're making multiple pads, continue cutting out your pattern pieces until you have enough for each pad. Also, side note, I'm sorry for how beat up my hands look in this video. Yesterday, when I was running, I took quite the tumble on the sidewalk, which explains the scuffs and bandages. And God, I really need to get my nails done. Once everything is cut out, take your pattern piece A with the wrong side facing up and lay both of your pattern piece B on top of it in the center. If you're adding the wool piece for extra absorbency, you'll lay that on top of the other two pattern B pieces. But the one I'm making today will not have the wool insert. Pin down those pattern B pieces on the outer edge and then sew it down on both sides with a straight stitch, so you'll have 2 parallel lines. Once that's sewn, flip over the pad with the right side facing up and lay the second pattern A piece on top of it, right sides together. Pin all the way along the outer edge. You're going to sew about 1/4 inch from the edge, but you're going to leave a 1-inch opening so that we can turn it right side out at the end. Once you've sewn the outer edge, turn the pad right side out through that 1-inch opening. And give it a good press. We'll sew that 1-inch opening closed by top stitching all the way around that outer edge again. And I used a zigzag stitch for this for extra reinforcement, but you can use a straight stitch or a blanket stitch, whatever you like. Once you've finished top stitching, it's time to add the button and the buttonhole. And like I said before, you can seam rip a button from the flannel shirt. We'll be adding it to the shorter wings of the pad. If you've never used the buttonhole feature on your sewing machine, you can do a quick Google search to find the right settings on your model. On my Genome, you can place the button size that you'll be using in the back part of the presser foot and then cinch it tight. This will set the width of your buttonhole to be the perfect size for your button. Next, I'll just attach the foot on my machine. I'll set the setting to the buttonhole option. I'll adjust the width and the stitch length as required, and then finally I'll lower the little buttonhole widget, I don't know what to call it, so that it locks into this little slot on my presser foot. Every machine is different, so like I said, just Google your model and you'll find some detailed instructions. I avoided using the buttonhole setting on my machine for so long because it seemed complicated, but once I figured it out, I couldn't believe how helpful and quick it can be. Once the buttonhole is sewn, we're going to seam rip the center of it so the button can actually go through. And a little trick I learned is to place a pin just before the last few stitches of the buttonhole and then seam rip it. The pin prevents you from accidentally seam ripping all the way through those stitches, which I have done before and it is very annoying. Once that's done, the last step is to just sew on your button on the opposite wing, and the button should be sewn on the right side of the cloth pad, which is the side where you can see the 2 parallel lines of stitching. And then you're done. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or curiosities about using cloth pads. I'm an open book. Bye for now.